A nefarious government plot to store our nation's silver supply in our mouths. Children, I implore you, rip out your fillings. This is 24-hour Gribble Talk, serving the entire Tri-House area.
Welcome to the 24-hour Gribble Talk podcast, hosted by Dylan and Kaleigh. We just had a steak dinner at 11 o'clock at night. I'm sure Hank Hill would approve of that. We also had eggs with it. I'm not sure how Hank would feel about breakfast for dinner. That might be a little too controversial for him. So, what episode are we doing today?
Season 3, Episode 3, Peggy's Headache.
Alright, this is the episode where Peggy finds out that Nancy is having an affair with John Redcorn. The Nancy, Dale, and John Redcorn storyline episodes are always some of my favorites. You got this one. There's the Nancy's Boys one. Comes, I think, in season 4.
Morning, Dale.
Mm-hmm. Hi, John Redcorn.
Dale?
I think these episodes that revolve around that storyline do a really good job of going through all the progressions of the characters, the different feelings they'd have, the ones involved: Joseph, Nancy, John Redcorn, Dale.
Dale's so used to him coming over that he doesn't even care that he shows up every day.
What do you think it is that John Redcorn really does have in that sack all the time?
Condoms.
I don't see.
Maybe not.
I don't see him as a condom wearer.
Peggy, just dropping off a new healing herb for Nancy to help with her migraines. Ginkgo biloba.
Oh, yeah, Sure, I've heard of that.
I like how Luann's hair is slowly growing back as you see her in the series. In these episodes, it goes from bald to having a little bit more hair to a little bit longer and longer. It kind of gives you the feeling of being more involved. Yeah, being involved in the series, like, you know, you're seeing real life unfold, not just like The Simpsons, or where when one episode ends, the next one starts off totally fresh, like the last one didn't even happen.
Right.
Whereas King of the Hill, her hair, you know, like, just the little things, stuff like that.
And she does that evil laugh when somebody else dies or something, when they said she jumps out the window.
Yeah. I think they're kind of trying to display she's still grieving, still struggling with the loss. Acting a little odd and out of character.
Oh, Doyle Harkavy knows children. Of course, his daughter jumped out a window. Ow.
For somebody like Peggy, who seems to be so, quote, smart, is really struggling with these musings.
If you pause on her page here, she actually has some decent ones on there. Some of them aren't very good. Which one do you like on there? She's got Thank Goodness for Plexiglass, Sunburn, Too Much of a Good Thing. I'd say I like Nothing is Dirt Cheap because dirt is free.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's pretty good. Probably the worst on there is Lots of Cookies Will Make You Fat. Not really much of amusing.
Not even quite sure what amusing is.
Just a thought about small things in life.
She doesn't even hear the music going on or anything that's happening inside that house. And it shuts off right when she walks in.
She just lets herself into the house. I think that's... And they're always dressed when people walk in on them, too.
Well, yeah,
Nancy
you can't
and John
know your
Redcorn.
secret.
They always either have the best timing to be dressed or they get dressed really fast. Do you like these type of episodes with these storyline? The Nancy and John Redcorn storylines?
Yeah.
Not your favorite?
No.
I like the ones with Dale and Joseph and the different storylines. I've always been curious if Bobby knew, or how, like, it's kind of hard to imagine
Or how would Joseph know? Like,
How would he not
obviously
know?
doesn't look like Dale.
Yeah, or Bobby and Joseph going to school, and hard to imagine them being around other kids and not it being obvious that Dale's not his father. But I've never really noticed any outward signs in the show of them kind of indicating that Bobby knows really at all. I don't know if anyone else has.
He still thinks that Joseph's like an alien.
Yeah, there's the one episode, and in that episode, Bobby kind of hints that he might know a little bit about Bobby and John Redcorn, but not a whole lot. I've always been curious what other people thought about that.
I think it's kind of funny that Peggy might think that John Redcorn's like poor because he has carpet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what she meant by that. I think some of the best moments of the Nancy and John Redcorn and Dale storyline are how Dale's just totally naive and clueless. He's the guy who he knows the truth, and he's always got his theories about everything, but
He doesn't want to believe it's true.
yeah. He's like the ultimate ironic conspiracy theorist who sees everything but doesn't see anything at all.
Yeah.
But you could probably make the argument that Dale does know, at least at some certain points in the episode or in the series. They make it a little bit more hard to tell whether or not Dale just accepts it or if he doesn't know.
He's always like investigating everything. He's kind of like, I don't know.
Do you think at any point he just accepts it? And because there's the one episode where he like asks John Redcorn he says, "John Redcorn, will you heal my wife?"
Yeah.
But I don't know. They don't make it totally clear.
That's after they break up and stuff, ain't it? Where she really gets depressed.
Yeah, and he kabonks him with the lamp.
Yeah. John freaking Redcorn.
Well, those headaches are good as gone. Peggy went to John Redcorn for a healing.
What?
Don't worry, old John R. will fix her up just like he does for Nancy 3 times a week.
I think Hank might think that if Peggy keeps going to John Redcorn, she's going to cheat on him.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely what he's worried about.
I don't think Peggy would.
There's the other one where she almost does with the guy who plays Monsignor Martinez. Later in she almost has the affair.
Yep. Then he just wants the tutor for his kids and he has the wife.
Yeah. Peggy's not all that innocent.
Did you see their facial expressions just now?
No.
Of Luann and Bobby when they see that their dinner's going to be late and that she finds out she's cheating?
Oh, yeah.
I recall that's how it started with Nancy Gribble.
Hank, you are my friend.
I think they say they contradict that story later on with how Nancy and John Redcorn meet. They don't say that he started healing her. They say that they met at a gas station. Yeah, some good "you had to be there, King of the Hill" type humor that they use with Hank and John Redcorn.
He kind of thinks that John Redcorn's like big bad man, like I'm better than you.
Yeah, he towers over Hank. I also think, on a side note, it's kind of funny how they always make Bill out to be like the really fat guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the earlier episodes, they're really all kind of the same size, Hank and Bill.
They make Hank slimmer?
I think they make Bill a little bigger and Hank a little slimmer in the later episodes to try to accentuate Bill. It's hard not to picture every time I see Hank throw Peggy over the side of that couch there. It always makes me chuckle.
What are you saying?
It's funny to me how they could be married and Hank could know and Peggy couldn't. Like, kind of says a lot about either their marriage that they don't discuss anything or talk ever. But I guess it's all part of the joke that Peggy's so naive and so in her own world and bubble that she couldn't accept it. And Hank doesn't talk about that kind of stuff. That'd be out of character.
Oh, yes. Where do you think he came from?
Nancy told me Dale had a Jamaican grandmother.
He does not look Puerto Rican to me at all.
She said Jamaican.
How did they go from fixing the fence to her spraying the roses?
I didn't notice. That was pretty quick, though.
You dirty bird.
What's wrong, Shug?
Joseph is not Jamaican, and neither is Dale, and I am beginning to suspect that his grandmother isn't either.
So you know. Who told you?
I wouldn't have to tell me. How stupid do you think I am? You've been cheating for 12 years. Nancy, how could you?
I have my reasons.
Yes, and I've seen those reasons packed into his Sergio Valente jeans. I bet you don't even have headaches anymore.
I'd say this is probably when Peggy's like at her least annoying, when she's in these early episodes, when she's seems like more of a caring character, although she goes back and forth. And this to me is a Bobby sniffing the garbage is a strange moment. I don't get the
That's not the first time he's done that.
yeah, it's like they do it a few times. It seems like they're really trying to play into that boy ain't right thing, but it's like seems like an overstretch to me.
Like, how can Dale seriously be happy with that? John Redcorn. This is my favorite part.
Who do you think Peggy's closer friend is, Nancy or Min?
Probably Nancy.
Think so?
Yeah. Min, she kind of seems like the stuck-up-y kind of one.
Yeah, I think they're all kind of frenemies. They like each other and they kind of don't. All the women.
I think she is closer with Nancy, though. Just like Min and Connor there, but not there.
I've seen some people have a theory that Peggy and Nancy are sisters.
Really?
Yeah. And that they married, Hank and Dale.
That are
I think it was based on
friends?
that Peggy and Nancy are sisters and they were best friends. I think it was because of their eyes or their face looks similar, but obviously it's animation. Conspiracy theory.
What does he even say?
You can see in this scene with Hank and Bill standing next to each other, they're about the same size.
Yeah.
Even though Bill's always like the big fat guy.
And they're similar colors, too, of their outfits.
This is a great, real simple King of the Hill exchange with Peggy and Dale here. Dale doesn't need to say a lot. A lot of facial expressions for humor.
It's funny how he thinks that Peggy wants him.
Yeah. And then he tells Hank, too. You can see that I'd say Dale's probably, he's a good friend.
Right.
Whereas Hank and the other guys, they don't tell Dale.
Bill's always trying to get with Peggy, too.
Mm-hmm. Dale tells people right away. And then Bill has his recited answer.
Somebody should tell him.
It is interesting. I think, who do you think Hank's best friend is? Would you say it's Dale? Dale or Bill? Or Boomhauer? Which one?
He's always sticking up for Bill, but I think it would be Dale.
Yeah, me too.
I wonder if they bring it back, if Joseph and stuff ever will, find out that John Redcorn's the dad.
Yeah, they'd have to expand more on that relationship. It'd be too much not to. A lot of good comedy there. This is probably my favorite scene in this episode where they're at the baseball game.
I like this one.
All the innuendos with Dale. John Redcorn scoring on his wife.
Oh, man, look at that John Redcorn. He sure can swing. Woo!
She's blushing.
Good eye.
Are you kidding? This guy never strikes out. Ain't that right, Nancy?
Oh, Bob. Boggle, think. Bob.
All right, where you go, man? Woo-hoo!
He's so excited that Redcorn is getting the hits on the baseball field.
They really use a lot of good background music here in this scene too, building up Peggy's. You can see she's
her frustration,
getting more and more panicked. Yeah, hearing all the things Dale's saying, looking at John Redcorn, Nancy's blushing. You can really feel yourself in that moment, starting to feel uneasy and.
Kind of sounds like the music that they were kind of playing at when she walked in the house.
She was hearing the